Ladies and gentlemen, EKN Nation, welcome to another edition of the EKN OutLap. It's episode 22. It's April the 27th, 2021. And for those of you who may be listening for the OutLap for the first time, it's essentially our preview podcast for an upcoming EKN Trackside live event. We'll go through all the categories, talk about the drivers, the teams that are going to be there. We'll look at current point standings, that kind of thing. David Cole handling this one here because the event in question today that we'll be previewing the next round, the USPKS Series, the Heartland Grand Prix from Newcastle Motorsports Park this coming weekend, April 30th to May the 2nd. This edition of the OutLap presented by Franklin Motorsports. Franklin Motorsports is a leader in the karting industry with over 50 years of combined karting experience, and they can provide you with everything you need to go racing. With a large online product selection, select track support events, and a wide variety of shop services, Franklin Motorsports is your complete karting source. They specialize in IME engines, tilt seats, and of course, their championship-winning Merlin chassis. They've been supplying racers with start-to-finish support at race events for years, from providing a helping hand on a weekday test outing or at a club event to full arrive and drive packages at the highest level of karting competition. For all things karting, visit franklinkart.com. All right, David Cole, it is a Tuesday. We've got another event coming up on the pipe for you, the USPKS, United States Pro Kart Series, firing things back up, back at your second, essentially your second racing home, or your second home, your primary racing home, Newcastle Motorsports Park.
Yeah, primary in the fact that I've been there many, many, many times, not so much racing, but just, yes, race track home, or it really is second home away from home. Getting ready for the Heartland Grand Prix at Newcastle Motorsports Park, April 30th through May 2nd. So one day short of my 18th anniversary.
Yeah, that's right. And just, Dave, I'll bring this up. It's obviously spring, David. You got a little allergies going on or what?
Allergies kind of
a little nasally.
They hit me a little bit during the spring break. A lot of pollen down in South Carolina where we are at. And then it came back a little bit more when I came back from the Charlotte Motor Speedway and the WKA Road Racing Series event. So, the last week has been kind of, balancing the allergy medicine versus the ibuprofen to take away the headache.
Oh, man. Folks, the funny thing about Dave is anytime we go to the Rock Island Grand Prix, that's normal. That's the killer weekend for Dave with all the hay there, and that's the killer.
Yes, that is the year-end fun. The anniversary time is the beginning part. It's always that change in season when, I actually used one of our EKN masks to mow the lawn this weekend to help keep everything out of my sinuses, and it actually helped pretty well. But still, getting hopefully be over it by the time we get to the weekend. And I don't know if being out in the middle of nowhere of Indiana is going to help, but we'll see.
Well, and we'll take the opportunity to congratulate you and Renee on your 18th anniversary. Well done.
Yeah, it'll be followed up with our OutLap or our debrief next week.
That's it. Exactly. So again, David heading down to Newcastle Motorsports Park this weekend, the Heartland Grand Prix, rounds 3 and 4 of the 8-round championship. USPKS counting the best 7 of those 8 races for the championship. David, let's jump into the event notes really quickly. Let's talk about what track layout they're going to use. Let's talk about the event schedule for the weekend.
Yeah, this is the 9th time in a 9-year history that the series will visit the Newcastle Motorsports Park. This will be the actual first time that they use a different layout than they have used in years past. Typically, it's been that national layout that we're so used to taking part in at the Newcastle Motorsports Park. This time it is the national layout, but in the clockwise direction, which will also include the little Monza section.
Oh, really?
That me and you are familiar with the Cup Karts North America. So imagine national track with the Monza, but going backwards. That's essentially what this layout is going to be. They've used it. They used it this past weekend. Not this past weekend, but the weekend before, for the Route 66 Sprint Series event. So a number of the USPKS competitors that will be there this weekend were there getting acclimated to the layout and getting ready, obviously, for the USPKS weekend. But so something new. So not exactly what the SCUSA Pro Tour reverse layout was, because we're going to include the Monza with USPKS.
Interesting. Yeah, that sounds cool. So, what's the basic USPKS event schedule with practice starting on Friday?
Going back to the original event format, we're going to do 5 rounds of practice on Friday, obviously with the larger racetrack than what we had at Ocala Grand Prix last month. You're able to have larger fields out on the racetrack, as we are familiar with the 1 mile circuit at Newcastle. So this weekend, pre-finals are going to go off as normal. No split there, no split in qualifying, no LCQs. So we're going to go with the typical warm-up, qualifying, pre-final, and finals for all 7 categories. Round 3 on Saturday, round 4 on Sunday. Pre-finals are going to be 10 laps in distance, with the finals going 14 for every category except for the pro divisions. Pro senior will be 16 laps, along with X30 junior going 16 laps.
All right, there you go, folks. Getting things underway. This edition of the OutLap, episode number 22. David and I will continue to discuss the upcoming event, the USPKS race, rounds 3 and 4 at Newcastle. Stay with us after this. We'll have a look at the numbers. We'll let you know how many drivers we've got in each of the categories. Leading Edge Motorsports is the industry answer to winning in karting. At the helm is industry veteran Greg Bell, who has orchestrated the success of many drivers dating back to the mid-1990s. Based in Lodi, California, Leading Edge Motorsports is the Western importer with IP karting that includes the Praga and Formula K chassis brands. Leading Edge Motorsports provides in-depth driver development for those racers in Northern California and across the country. Arrive and drive services, kart preparation, and driver coaching are available under the LEM tent throughout the season. Bell's record of working with drivers includes recent victories at North America's biggest karting events, including the Rock the Rio and the SCUSA Super Nationals. Greg Bell's knowledge for building engines spans 2 decades and is now under the Mega Power branding, providing a reliable engine service and tuning knowledge. No matter the chassis brand, choose Mega Power to get to the front. Click over to leadingedgemotorsports.com for more and find them on social media to stay connected. At Leading Edge Motorsports, winning never gets old. Acceleration Kart Racing is your first and only stop on the internet for karts, parts, and the safety gear you need to get you on the track. Visit shopakr.com for a great selection of karting equipment on a user-friendly website. Acceleration Kart Racing has aligned itself with many of the top manufacturers and distributors of the sport to ensure all the latest equipment is available to you, the racer. With over 20 years in business and customer support available 6 days a week, you can be confident about getting the right parts at the right price when you need them. Be sure to visit shopakr.com today or stop by their headquarters in Las Vegas. Make sure to follow Acceleration Kart Racing on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest specials and new arrivals. Welcome back to episode 22 of the EKN OutLap. My name's Rob Howden, joined by David Cole. We are previewing this weekend's event, the United States Pro Kart Series Heartland Grand Prix at Newcastle Motorsports Park. David, the USPKS, of course, coming off a massive event at Ocala back in March to start the 2021 season. 293 entries was the end total for that event. To kick things off, what are we looking at for Newcastle right now?
Well, it's getting close. It's not quite there, but it is the second largest event of the series history. It's going to be at 253 right now, and we're going to see some walk-ups. Anytime we go to Newcastle, we get locals that enter late. We're also some championship contenders are going to be entering late as well after we reviewed the entry list. So 253 right now compared to Ocala's 293, so about 40 less. But I'm going to say 270 could be the mark. I think we're going to get probably maybe 20 walk-ups. That's my guesstimate for the weekend.
We'll check that out next week with the debrief. We'll see how well you did. David, look at the list of the classes. Again, just 7 categories as part of the USPKS series. It's still strong across the board, especially KA100 Senior. 59 drivers pre-entered. They had 60 down at Ocala. 59 pre-entered right now.
Yeah, I believe the Route 66 series had 40 drivers in that category. So you got to imagine a number of those are going to be at the USPKS weekend, not to mention those from across the country joining them in Newcastle this weekend. So that's going to be a category where we might see some walk-ups for sure. So we could have a record-breaking entry total for that category. A little bit down in the KA 100 Junior, 48 last month, down to 39. So not too much off, but still almost at that 40 number. So again, when you look at the numbers, you don't necessarily accept KA 100 Senior. You're not going to need any really LCQs because it's all in the 30s. Which is strange and but also amazing, to see the numbers all in 37 categories above that 30 mark, or six of the 7 above that 30 mark is outstanding.
Yeah, and the one that's not is X30 Masters, and it's got 26, which is still a strong field, especially for Masters drivers right now.
Well, that's the largest Masters field right now in the country.
Yeah, it is.
I don't, we didn't see that at the Pro Tour. We haven't seen that at the Challenge in the Americas or the Florida Winter Tour. So right now, USPKS has the largest Masters category, including non-shifters, I should say, non-shifter fields. So, but even I think it beats some of the shifter fields that we've seen in Masters shift racing.
Agreed.
So, 26, and there's going to be some new names in the category. So again, that could be a category, maybe gets bumped up to 30 depending on walk-ups, but we'll have to wait and see. But that's going to be an exciting category to watch.
So in the cadet classes, 32 pre-entries for micro, 33 for mini. Always good to see the strong numbers in the cadet classes. Kind of looked at it already for KA 100 Junior and KA 100 Senior. 39 for the juniors, 59 right now for the seniors, 26, as we said, for Masters. And Dave, in the pro categories, 31 in X30 Junior and 33 in X30 Pro. 39 drivers at Ocala for that opening X30 Pro race with all the money up for grabs. But still 33 strong, and like you said, could get a couple of walk-ups to almost equal what they had at Ocala.
Yeah, that for sure. We're going to see a couple walk-ups in that category. And again, being at Newcastle, you're going to get some locals that are going to see the numbers and be like, you know what, maybe I need to go out and race this. So,
that's it.
And then not just locals, but people in the Midwest area. That's kind of, again, you wait to see what the weather's going to do. People still in our sport do that, and wait and see what the weather's going to be like. Or, it could be, just a busy time for somebody, and they like, you know what, let's go race. So hopefully we'll get up to that 270 mark. And that's my goal.
We'll cap this segment. David mentioned that 293, the best ever at Ocala. 253 would still be the second highest event for the USPKS. David, you go back to GoPro last year at 223, Newcastle before at 218. So yeah, obviously a lot of good momentum and an upward swing for the USPKS in terms of numbers.
Yeah, we could see the whole season going above that 200 mark for sure, because Road America is going to be next on the schedule. A lot of people were excited about being there last year, and they went and told their friends. So I think, people are excited about going back to Road America this year, or for the first time ever for a number of drivers that are probably going to be up there when we get there in July. So I and then GoPro ends out the season, and that's all, as you said, that is currently the second highest event after we get through with this one. Will drop down to the third, and that was 223 last year. So I have no doubt that we'll still be above that 200 mark when we get to GoPro in October.
Agreed. All right, second break in the action. When we get back, time to start going class by class. After this break, X30 Pro and KA 100 Senior. You can buy all the latest and greatest products on the market. But when you're karting to win, it boils down to one thing: you, the driver. Gain the knowledge and abilities by investing in yourself at the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, and you'll find those extra tenths of a second you need to put yourself on the podium. The school was established by SuperKarts USA Hall of Fame driver Alan Rudolph, with decades of victories and championships in multiple forms of the sport, including other disciplines of racing. The Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, located at the Speed Sports Racing Park in the metropolitan Houston area, is designed to teach driving skills at all levels. The instructors of the Academy have decades of racing experience and educating drivers of all ages. Classes at the Academy will teach the concepts and skills needed both behind the wheel and off the track. From the beginning kart racing experience, and Intro to Karting courses to their advanced 1-day and 2-day courses and karting clinics, the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy can improve the skills of any driver. For more information on the specific programs that the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy can provide for you, head to speedsports.com and click on the Racing Academy page. Be sure to follow the Academy on social media by searching for Alan Rudolph Racing Academy. It all started in 1994 when former successful kart driver Albino Parolin decided to move his passion for karting from the track to his small workshop. That's when Parolin was born. Fast forward 20 years and Parolin's passion for the sport led to the company rejoining international competitions as a factory team in WSK and CIK FIA races, with the aim of enhancing the research and development process, immediately achieving notable results around Europe, North America, and Asia, becoming the CIK FIA Asia Pacific KZ champion in the same year. Parolin USA is North America's source for Parolin products, and we run a factory team at all of the major Superkarts USA and Rock Cup USA events. The Parolin chassis lineup for 2021 includes the Invader Shifter, the Le Mans Tag single-speed chassis for junior and senior classes, and the 28mm mini kart for the cadet classes. Parolin has been winning races all over the world, and it's on top of the podium in the USA as well, with drivers like Kai Sorensen, Mateus Orjuela, and Alessandro De Tullio. Get on the chassis that's winning. Drive a Parolin. For more information, head to ParolinUSA.com. Welcome back to episode number 22 of the EKN OutLap. If you're listening on the EKN Radio Network, always the first opportunity to listen to any of the content we push out. Make sure you download the EKN Radio Network app if you haven't already done that. Otherwise, probably listen to a podcast, whatever it may be. We appreciate it. David, let's jump into this. USPKS Preview X30 Pro. Big money up for grabs, as always, with the USPKS. 39 pre-entries.
Yeah, I think I got that number wrong. It's supposed to be 33. So anyway, 33 pre-entries.
No worries.
And this could be a year where we see, I'd like to see 6 different winners. I don't know if we're going to get that, but with the competition level that we have in this category, I think we could see 6 different winners. We're looking at Ocala. We had Arias Zumedjian, who was at the time the EKN co-driver or co-number 1 in the driver rankings. He scored the victory on Saturday, and then rookie Connor Zillage came out and won on Sunday. Obviously Ocala brings that kind of Bristol feel to things. Here it's going to be all about the draft. That's typically what we see. As long as you're in that lead pack, you have the ability to challenge for the victory on that final circuit. So, Duke Medjian's won here in this category last year. Zillage won both junior main events last year, so they have the opportunity to double up. But, the fields are super strong going into the weekend.
What about 4-time champ, Brandon Jarsakrak? What do you think about him coming to Newcastle?
Yeah, he's always won at Newcastle. I think last year was the first time in his career he did not win a race at Newcastle, whether it be USPKS, SCUSA, WK, what other events that go on there. So he's going to be fast. Obviously Ocala is that Bristol thing. He got shuffled back in some of the main events, sitting 6th in the points. So still in the championship hunt, depending on how this weekend goes with, still 6 rounds of racing left on the season. So I would expect him to be up front. Mateus Ramirez sitting 3rd in points. So we'll go over the points a little bit. Zillage sitting there in 1st. With Duke Medjian there in 2nd, 30 points out of 1st place. Matias Ramirez, 36 points back in 3rd, with Ryan Norberg, the 4-time champion for SCUSA Pro Tour, sitting in 4th, only 55 out of 1st place, with Alessandro Di Turo in the 5th spot, 93 points out of the 1st spot.
Yeah, still early in the season, like you said, 1 drop. 7 races in total used. David, let's have a look at some of the notable drivers coming in. First time we've seen Louis Westover back over, the Englishman, coming to run again with Solo Kart USA. Good to see Louis back. And Hannah Greenmeyer for Rawlson Performance Group. She'll make her 2021 series debut.
Yeah, she skipped the Ocala weekend after hurting her ribs at the SCUSA Winter Series in February. It certainly helped. She was ready to go at the Pro Tour Winter Nationals down in NOLA, where she had the provisional victory until a pushback bumper took that away from her. So I expect her to be among the quick drivers along with Westover. Anytime we have an international driver at Newcastle, they tend to do very well. You got to think about the championship contenders. Ryan Norberg's going to be fast at Newcastle, along with Zillage and Dubegian. Other drivers to watch, I would probably look at like a Paulie Massimino. Obviously working with Brandon Jarzakrak, has that ability to be fast, so we'll see if he's there. Another rookie, Max Opalski. He has his good weekends and then he has his bad weekends. So
I agree with that.
It depends on which Max shows up on the weekend. Who are some other names you think?
Yeah, I think you look at Thomas Nunziata. I think he started off a really strong season. I think he's going to be pretty good. I don't think you can count out Luke Lang with crosslink competition. I expect that he could, jump in there and potentially fight. And John Burke for PSL Karting, right? Another guy I think we have to watch for. And maybe Jace Park from Trinity Karting Group. I know Trinity is going to be strong as well.
Yeah, Burke's getting used to that Burrell Art. Moved over there when we were at Ocala, so that was his first weekend. I believe he raced at the Pro Tour Winter Nationals. I wasn't there, so I can't remember. But yeah, so he'll get accustomed to that. He's won at Newcastle before. He's won a few times coming from the back and moving forward. But so we'll see. We'll see how he does. And yeah, as you said, the Trinity guys, it's kind of their home track as they began the Trinity Karting Group program at Newcastle Motorsports Park with the KRA program. So both Finnegan and Gavin should be among the top contenders on the weekend.
We probably shouldn't leave out Hayden Jones with Team Nitro, Nitro Kart, and Brandon Tyner with Rawson Performance Group. Those are probably two guys that I think if we left them out, we probably do ourselves a disservice on that one. we maybe look stupid because those guys can run up front anytime, right?
Yeah, and Jones was double duty, and Ocala was actually had a better performance in the KA100 senior division. So we'll see if he's able to pick up the pace in the X30 this weekend.
Let's have a look at KA100 senior, biggest field on the weekend. 59 pre-entries right now, just one away from the number that they had at Ocala. Champions: Brandon Lemke of 2020, Blake Hunt 2019, Zach Hollingshead 2018, and Alex Bertignoli in 2017. Bertignoli getting a win, David, out of the gate, but so did Connor Zilic. Damn, this kid Zilic is what a barnstorm he's had so far here in his first year senior.
Yeah, could have been our March driver of the month, but was our driver of the month in February.
Exactly right.
And so got a win in both categories in doing the double duty at Ocala. Coming back again this weekend to do the double duty. Again, he's won at Newcastle in the junior ranks, won there in the cadet ranks. So we'll see if he's able to pick up his first victory in the senior ranks at Newcastle in either of the categories. And he comes into the weekend leading both categories as well, too. In this one, he's got a 30-point advantage over AJ Myers, the two-time SCUSA Pro Tour Pro Shifter champion, who will be back on the single-speed engine package this weekend in the KA division. We'll see him and Brandon Lemke are both sitting there in second with 30 points back. So defending champion, a shifter kart two-time champion, all chasing the rookie senior. So that's going to be an interesting story as we move on throughout the weekend. But yeah, as you mentioned in X30, Hayden Jones sitting there in fourth with 94 points out of the lead, with Alex Bertignoli 135 points back, yet had that victory in round two.
Man, I'm scrolling through the list, the spreadsheet you sent me, the Excel spreadsheet, and man, I'm just kind of clicking off some of these guys that I think could be quick. And man, it's just, dude, you go through this, it's Newcastle, so Logan Adams is going to be in the fight. Nolan Allison so strong out of the gate, up at the SCUSA event at Homestead with Rollison. I mentioned Annunziata already in X30 Pro. You've already talked about Bertignoli. Gia Cicero was a top 5 runner at the SCUSA Pro Tour Winter Nationals. Duke Medjian, Connor Ferris, Jake French back again as well. You talked about AJ Myers. Speaking of shifter superstars, Jake French going single speed racing again as well.
Yeah, I think French is going to do a lot better at Newcastle. Very accustomed to racing at Newcastle in the shifter, but can translate it over to the KA. So I think I think we're going to see a little bit of a better performance out of French. I hope he doesn't let me down on that prediction. As you said, Adams racing at the home track, I think he's going to be one to watch. Anytime he comes out, he doesn't test. He just comes out and races. And every time he does that, he's among the front runners at his home track. So I expect him to be among those in the fight. And you mentioned now Nolan Allison. He actually won the KRA event this past weekend in the KA 100 senior category. Now calling the Newcastle Motorsports Park home. He's back in Detroit. So he's making the trek down to Newcastle, and he's going to be making that his home during the summer months this year.
Yeah, and just other names that that just kind of pop in your head that when I'm announcing races, and David, you're covering races, you talk about guys like Tyler Wettengale, Matthew Mockabee, guys Alexander Kardashian, guys we know, Josh Holtz, guys we talk about all the time, Austin Osborne, of course, former SCUSA champion in the KA 100 class. This 59 drivers, David. This thing is just stacked. With guys, again, like we talked about when we did the Ocala outlap, right? We can literally say, here's the 10 guys that can run in the top 10, and it could be 10 different guys. That's how deep the field is.
It is. The Alexander Kardashian, that's going to be, I think he's a wild card, very quick at Newcastle typically, but likes to race hard, likes to not just sit there and wait. He wants to make his moves. So he's been studying at Purdue. We'll see if the time away is good for him to be able to contend against this stacked field.
David, you mentioned in the X30 Pro preview. What about winners from Route 66? Who were the guys that stood up there?
Yeah, so they raced again 2 weeks ago. Aiden Levy winning his senior debut at the series. Actually won last year at Road America in the junior division. So now picking up a couple of victories in the senior division, or a victory in the senior division. So we'll see if he's able to translate that success over to this weekend. And Brandon Lemke, again, defending champion, winning 2 weeks ago at the Route program. Obviously, a number of victories for him at Newcastle. So I expect him to be a measuring stick for a lot of the drivers.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. Bang on. All right, guys. So we'll go to another quick break in the action. When we get back, we'll talk X30 Junior, KA 100 Junior, and X30 Masters. You're listening to the EKN OutLap, the preview of the upcoming USPKS event at Newcastle Motorsports Park here on the EKN Radio Network. In karting, it's important to be supported by the right people. With over 40 years of experience in the sport, Trinity Karting Group has everything you need to make your program successful. We do it all, and we do it right. Trackside support and Arrive and Drive programs are available in 2021 for the USPKS and the SuperKarts USA Pro Tour and Super Nationals, with full product sales and service and professional coaching from our experienced staff. Trinity Karting Group is a full-service operation based at the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati, which gives us access to our custom-designed driver training facility. This allows us to offer private, one-on-one coaching to take you to the next level. Trinity Karting Group is also your Midwest home for Tony Kart and IAME, and we're your source for MG and Avinco tires in the region. Tony Kart quality cannot be beat, so call us today to put you in a new chassis for your next event. From Arrive and Drive and coaching programs to the parts you need, let Trinity Karting Group provide you with customer service and a racing experience second to none. Trinity Karting Group has a long history in the sport, a winning pedigree, and we're dedicated to driver development. We take pride in our professional approach and our positive attitude. Let us build a custom race program for you. Give us a call at 513-421-4463 or check us out online at trinitykartinggroup.com. Powered by technology, DID racing chains have a worldwide reputation for superior quality and reliability. Meticulously engineered and manufactured in Japan, DID genuine parts are the world's #1 original parts supplier for Japanese and European motorcycle manufacturers. A rich racing tradition where results speak for themselves, DID prides itself on engineering the most technologically advanced chains on the market to help you excel on and off the track. DID's SDH pin treatment creates an extremely hard chromium carbide layer on the pin surface that houses a soft inner core to absorb extreme shock loads. DID's 219 HTZ racing chain boasts this SDH pin technology, which leads to longer chain life as well as excellent energy transmission to the wheels. Available in the gorgeous gold, the 219 HTZ is the ultimate racing kart chain. Pick up a DID chain at your local dealer today, because when winning is the only thing that matters, go with DID. Welcome back to the EKN OutLap, our preview podcast, episode 22. Rob Howden alongside David Cole. David, you'll be down there trackside once again. You spend a lot of time at Newcastle. Mike Adams and the crew always do a tremendous job. Track's obviously very racy. It's going to be a great weekend. X30 Junior, 31 Prix entries. The champion from last year, Alex Stanfield, has moved on to the senior class. Brent Cruz as well, running some shifter racing as well, the champion from 2019. But Jeremy Fletcher and Paul Bocuse, the two guys that were able to get victories at Ocala to start the season.
Yeah, Jeremy Fletcher, our EKN Driver of the Month for March 2021, picked up actually 3 victories, and we'll talk a little bit more about his other 2, but picked up 1 in X30 Junior at Ocala, with Paul Bocuse earning the Sunday victory in Ocala. Fletcher was right there both days, obviously winning on Saturday and able to leave with a hefty lead of 91 points over Paul Bocuse. So a good solid start to the season for Fletcher in the X30 Junior division. Cameron Weinberg sitting in third, 117 points out of the lead, with Noah Baker 129 points out of the lead, and Rowan Gill 148 points out of first. So a good solid lead right now for Fletcher heading into the weekend. But again, Newcastle, anything can happen. Lots of track real estate to make things happen, and lots of drafting for people to keep up with the lead pack. So we'll see. I think Bocuse is going to be among those. Again, him and Fletcher are probably the 2 most experienced drivers in the field. You add a driver like Baker as well. Cameron Weinberg now into his 2nd season in the junior ranks, still getting acclimated there, but certainly showing some speed early on this season. So a number of drivers that will be in contention all weekend long.
Yeah, I look at guys like Christian Miles, Frankie Mossman, both two strong drivers. Mossman, of course, coming over from California. Jack Jeffers, Austin Jers, a couple of guys I think could probably step up. What about Chase Hand? He's obviously his first year here running nationally, and he's winning races everywhere.
He has been winning races on the East Coast, winning races on the West Coast, back home in California. Won at the California Pro Kart championship this past weekend in the, let me double check which one it was, in the KA Junior division. So was able to pick up a victory there. Miles, you mentioned him first off the bat, and I think that's one driver to watch. Certainly improved throughout the weekend. Ocala, it was his first weekend with Mike Doty Racing on a cosmic kart. So getting it acclimated to that OTK brand after racing a number of other brands prior to that. So certainly had the pace at the end of the weekend, finished 4th in that Sunday main event. And again, puts in the miles every single day, every single week. And I think, going back to a track like Newcastle is certainly going to help him.
A couple of guys we've watched, of course, in micro and then mini, and now up into junior, David, being kind of badasses. Max Garcia, Parker DeLong, a couple of guys that I think we know that know how to win races, right? And they've shown good speed out of the gate for 2021. Yeah,
not too much of a strong performance in Ocala for either. Garcia certainly struggled. DeLong did a little bit as well, but I know DeLong's doing double duty, so not sure if that's helping or hurting him in that cause. But I think a track like Newcastle will certainly help to clear the air and kind of regroup and get things back on the right track for both of those.
Two more just kind of names to drop. I think Sebastian Weldon, of course, has kind of stepped up and turned himself into a front running driver in the junior categories, and Caleb Gaffera coming back as well. Has been doing some racing over in Italy.
Well, Weldon had some big news over the weekend, joining the Andretti Autosport new junior program that they're doing. So Sebastian and Oliver now aligned with Andretti Autosport for this foreseeable future. So we'll see where that takes them in the days and months ahead. But yeah, so Weldon should be among those, and then it'll be interesting to see how Caleb does coming back over from overseas. Raced at the WSK Supermaster finale at South Garda Karting. He, along with Logan Toke, are making the trek back across the Atlantic. So we'll see if they're either jet lagged or just how their weekends unfold doing that back to back that way.
You mentioned a bunch of guys doing double duty, Dave. We just wrapped things up there with X30 Junior, KA100 Junior, number of drivers doing both categories. 39 pre-entries. Of course, two-time champion Brent Cruz has moved on. Jeremy Fletcher, like you said, David, our March driver of the month, had a pretty big weekend in KA100 Junior at Ocala.
Yeah, able to win both main events in Ocala and establish a good lead in the championship. Things were a little bit closer, I think, not as spread out as they were in X30 Junior points wise, with a driver we just talked about, Sebastian Weldon, now sitting there second, 78 points out of first place. Parker DeLong, you mentioned him earlier, sitting third in the KA100 Junior points standings, 105 points out of first. Helio Meza sitting fourth, 160 points, with 169 points out of first, with Cameron Brinkman in the fifth position.
Let's continue and look at some of the notable drivers that are going to be going here in KA100, other than the five you just mentioned.
Yeah, some drivers that are going to be coming in for the first time this year. Elliot Cox joining the Syntec program. He's been doing a lot of car testing, with the I believe the F4 car. So haven't quite seen him in a kart in recent months, but we'll see how he transitions going from the car to back to a kart. And then Austin Olds making some news this week, moving over to MPG aboard the Will Power Kart. So he'll be making his US PKS debut with the Will Power Kart and the MPG Motorsports team.
Other news that we saw recently too, Evagoras Papasavas going back with the Trinity Karting Group as well.
Yeah, started there during his cadet years and moved over to Pearland for, I believe, the last year, and made that announcement that he's going back to TKG aboard the Tony Kart. So we'll see if homecoming is good for him on the weekend. And again, Newcastle, a track that he knows very well. So we'll see if that helps him on the weekend. Some other drivers to watch include some of the Route 66 winners. Austin Jers won the Saturday main event in the category 2 weeks ago, with Sebastian Weldon dominating the day on Sunday to sweep that day. Another driver to watch, Addison Ianello, winning both Junior Briggs main events at the Route 66 program. She'll be racing in KA100 Junior this weekend. So a number of girls are actually in the junior field this weekend. You got Ava Dobson. There was the other one. I can't find the other one.
Deanna Hoffman as well.
Yes. So,
yep.
Yeah. So, actually, when you look at the Route 66 winners, I want to say there were 4 different female drivers that won on the weekend.
Really? Nice. I like that. It's fantastic. Other guys I think you got to watch out for, of course, Jack Jeffers, Austin Jers, just throwing some names out there. Noah Baker, Cameron Brinkman, maybe Aiden Rudolph with Crosslink Competition as well. Just another really solid field. Cooper Shipman maybe too. A lot of great drivers.
Yeah, Danny Dazowski was quick in Ocala, but had a victory taken away due to a technical infraction on Saturday. So we'll see if he's able to bounce back this weekend. Was quick at the WK Manufacturers Cup Series event at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So hopefully he'll carry that over into this weekend. But yeah, a number of drivers in this field. Aiden Rudolph coming off victory, Texas Sprint Racing Series. Yeah. One down there at NTK. So making the move to KA100 Junior this weekend. See if that helps keep that momentum going. Stepping back from the X30 Junior ranks.
Let's have a look at the X30 Masters class now, David, as we continue with our OutLap preview podcast for the USPKS event. 26 pre-entries, same number of drivers, hopefully a couple extra walk-ups to get it over top what we had at Ocala. Champions that we've seen over the last couple of years: Scott Kopp, the reigning champion; Dave Gallowina in 2019; Laurent Toumardan, the techno driver, back in 2018. But coming out of the gate at Ocala, Mario Barrios and Scott Kopp getting the race wins. Kopp, defending champion, with the point lead by 16 markers over Danny Robertson right now.
Yeah, it was pretty close battle all weekend long in the X30 Masters, obviously with the two different winners, but really it was anybody's fight throughout the weekend. Barrios obviously picking up the victory on Saturday. He sits third with Scott Roberts, who was in the fight all weekend long, just had a bit of a trouble in one of the main events. So that knocked him 91 points out of first place and fourth. Laurent Toumardan, as you said, 2018 champion, sitting there in fifth. Certainly he has success at Newcastle. Roberts has success at Newcastle along with Kopp as well. So you expect those three drivers to be among the quick drivers. David Gallowina, not entered yet, but could be a walk-up entry. It's his home racetrack. Has been dealing with some body issues. I believe his neck issues. So
yeah, I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah, hoping to get through that and possibly race this weekend. So we'll see if he's among the walk-ups to possibly give the category a record turnout for the weekend. So those are drivers to kind of watch early on, but a number of notables coming in for the weekend.
Yeah, let's talk about Derek Wang, easily one of the top Masters drivers in the country. Sean Scott coming in with J3 competition. Wang is going to be running with Crosslink. TJ Neville's with Franklin coming in as well, David. How about, let's just throw out Renato Jader-David. Again, one of, if not the best Masters driver in the country. He's in the top five for sure.
Well, I think when you add names like Renato Jader-David and Derek Wang, I mean, that just elevates the category to the next level. Because you talk about two of the most successful international Masters drivers. Again, international. Derek Wang's made, I want to say, 9 different Rotex Grand Finals, raced at the Rock Cup International Final as well, or Super Final as well. Renato Jader-David is an actual defending champion at the Rock Cup Super Final. So, and he's got however many victories in a row at the SCUSA Winter Series as well. So just adding those two names is definitely going to amp up the competition level as we go into the weekend. And as you said, you mentioned Sean Scott and TJ Neville. These are new names to the category. So it'll be interesting to see how they prevail throughout the weekend.
And I would then go back through and kind of look at a couple that we haven't mentioned yet. Of course, Miguel Mir, multi-time Texas champion in the Masters categories. The Solo Kart USA guys are back. Adam Pettit and Sal Sparacillo. I think they'll be good. John Robichaux is going to be racing with Rawlson Performance Group, I see. And then Jonathan Silva back again. We know that Jonathan, depending on if he's got the focus right, Jonathan could be a guy that could race for podiums as well.
Yeah, the solo kart guys didn't quite get all the best of luck down in Ocala. Actually had the pace towards the end of the weekend, or right there trailing the lead group when they were able to kind of steer clear of trouble and keep everything together. So hopefully they'll have a better start to the weekend in Newcastle.
They go well at Newcastle too, Dave.
And they do go well. They raced Roberts really hard last year along with Miguel Mir at the SCUSA Pro Tour event. So I expect to see a number of drivers here battling for the for podium positions.
We mentioned Laurent Toumardan for Technokart USA. We'll also drop the name of his teammate Christian Vomier as well. Both drivers out of Illinois, and both those drivers on the Technos. I expect they'll be pretty good as well. Final break in the action. When we get back, folks, we'll wrap things up with this edition of the OutLap. Mini Swift, Micro Swift, and then we'll do a quick little wrap to finish it all off.
Born from an idea years ago of the late founder of TAG USA, Tom Argy, to promote an event with multiple organizations working together, utilizing standardized rules, fair and affordable racing with great awards for the benefit of the racers, a one-of-a-kind event was born, the U.S. Karting Grand Prix. Promoted by TAG USA, CES, WKA, Northern California Karters, Puget Sound Road Racing Association, and the Puget Sound Go-Kart Association, this event is truly a team effort. More than just a kart race, this unique event brings sprint and road racing together for 3 days, July 23rd through the 25th, at the beautiful Utah Motorsports campus just outside of Salt Lake City. Sprint racing featuring Briggs, 100cc, tag, and shifter categories for all age groups. Road racing on the East Road Racing Track, hosting all the regular road racing classes Saturday and Sunday with all-day Friday practice. Highlighting the weekend will be pro racing in sprint with the pro shifter category, offering a winner-take-all cash prize of $5,000. The road racing track showcases the introduction of the Super Kart Shootout. 4 Super Kart races all weekend, with the highest points finisher receiving a cash prize of $2,500. Be part of the karting event of the summer of 2021. Registration, regulations, hotel discounts, and more information is available now at www.uskartinggrandprix.com.
Experience and passion. That's what led to the launch of AMAX Racing. Owner Charles Maxwell began AMAX Racing in 2015, expanding the operation in 2019 with a focus on driver development for racers of all age groups and backgrounds. From top-level drivers to grassroots racers or families looking for a team that will help them achieve their goals, AMAX Racing can guide you with the absolute best trackside service at affordable prices. No matter the chassis, AMAX Racing welcomes you and has the experience to put you on the top of the podium. You can join the AMAX Racing family in 2021 at the Cup Karts North America, United States Pro Kart Series, and WK Manufacturers Cup Series, along with selected local events at Whiteland Raceway Park and Newcastle Motorsports Park. For more information, contact them at 317-437-5886 or find them on Facebook. AMAX Racing, all of your karting needs under one tent. We're back. Final segment of this edition of the OutLap. It is episode 22. David Cole giving us pretty much the focus on what he's going to be doing here this coming weekend at Newcastle Motorsports Park. The USPKS back in action with the Heartland Grand Prix. David, 33 pre-entries in the Mini Swift class. The winners of Ocala, Enzo Vidmontien and Diego Ardiles. Ardiles with a 20-point lead coming in, but you look at it, 92 points all told, top 5. Ben Mayer, P3, Oliver Weldon in 4th, Tyler Roberts 5th. We got a really good mix of drivers in Mini Swift.
Yeah, and again, new names, because we had no idea about Diego Ardiles until the weekend. Enzo Vidmontien moving up from micro to mini has certainly been strong out the gate. Ben Mayer is probably the more experienced of the top 5 in the championship chase, and Roberts was certainly a new name that we hadn't heard. You've heard before as a second generation driver.
That's it. Yeah, his dad ran back in the SCUSA Promoto 2 days. Yeah,
it was good to see new names in the Mini Swift category battling it out. And again, both main events went down to a photo finish, especially on Saturday with Mayer's transponder not quite where it should have been to miss out on the victory there, and then Diego holding off on Sunday to score the victory in another photo finish. So this is definitely going to be a good category to watch. And again, with a big draft at Newcastle, you could see some big lead groups in this field.
We'll talk about Route 66 winners in a second, but man, David, you just talked about some quick drivers there. You think about the guys that we didn't chat with that have been winning races like crazy over the last little while. John Antonino with Race Factory. I think I got to watch for him. And how about both of the Iliff brothers, Oscar and Jack for Iron Rock Motorsports? Man, they were really good at the SCUSA Pro Tour as well.
Antonino, winning the Challenge of the Americas Championship out on the West Coast and on his home turf. Didn't quite. He had speed, but just didn't quite have the race pace throughout Ocala. So we'll see if that changes for Newcastle. And both Iliff brothers certainly have experience at Newcastle. Oscar getting that experience now, being what I want to say a third year mini driver, so now has that confidence and certainly helps to try and beat his little brother Jack, the micro champion coming in, and so those two have been quick thus far in the winter and picking up victories, especially Oscar at the Texas Sprint Racing Series.
Give us the shout out about what happened at Route 66. Because obviously, any if you're successful there, it leads into some success here this weekend, right?
Yeah, the two different winners we saw there in the mini Swift category. One was Indy Reagan on Saturday. Indy was able to score the victory in that race, with Sarah Bradley coming through for the victory on Sunday. Reagan on the Merlin for Franklin Motorsports, with Bradley on the Nitro Kart with Team Nitro Kart. So both of them picking up victories. So we'll see if they can carry that over into this weekend. Another cadet winner that won twice on the weekend in the Briggs cadet division was Ava Hansen. She was able to score the victory both days aboard the Merlin with Franklin Motorsports. So again, another female winner, two female winners in this category. So we'll see. Maybe we can get that first female winner in Mini Swift this weekend.
There you go. A couple of other guys I'm just coming out, as I look through the list. Carson Weinberger, obviously always quick. Vivek Canthan, Asher Osteen, Ayrton Grimm, rather. These are guys we've seen run up front well at Newcastle too.
Yeah, Grimm was among those fighting for the victories at Route 66. Didn't quite come through with any victories, but earned a number of podium results. So he could be one to finally come through with a good mini Swift weekend after moving up to the category. Again, a number of different drivers we can see in the fight all weekend long.
That's it. All right, let's cap things off, David. Let's have a look at Micro Swift, the youngest drivers in the USPKS program. 32 pre-entries in total. Already mentioned last year's champion Jack Ilef moving up into the Mini Swift class, but a couple of guys that seem to be really two of the dominant pilots right now in micro racing across the country. Isaac Malkit and Keelan Harvick. Isaac, of course, third generation driver. His dad and, of course, Grandpa Mark Malkit, one of the legends of super late model racing around the U.S. Keelan Harvick, obviously no introduction for his dad, Kevin, but both these drivers really, really impressive in terms of their racecraft and their controlled aggression as well. Both these guys like to lead.
And they both have something in common. Can you solve that puzzle?
I would say broken wrists.
There you go. They have both suffered a broken wrist this year. Isaac did that in January at Homestead and made his way back in February, so was able to regroup and get that quickly healed. And as we saw on social media with Keelan Harvick going to the doctor to get a fitted cast for his wrist to be able to get back behind the wheel. So he'll be, I believe he raced this past weekend at GoPro Motorpex, or at least was testing. So, and he's gotten that. And of course the iRacing with NASCAR that he
just recently did
too. So, those two come in as kind of the favorites, but you cannot count out the number of different drivers that are going to be in the hunt this weekend. Augustus Toniolo picked up a victory at the KRA event this past weekend. He's sitting third in the championship, 50 points out of that. Ethan Tovo was able to just dominate the weekend for the Route 66 weekend, sweeping that weekend with a clean sweep of Saturday and Sunday. He sits fourth in the championship, 106 points out of that. Gianmatteo Rousseau, another driver who's picked up a victory recently. I believe it was the SCUSA Pro Tour Winter Nationals where he won.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
So he's 139 points out of first. So a good weekend by those three drivers could certainly tighten up the championship chase as we get to the halfway point at the end of the weekend. But they certainly are among those in the contention for victories.
What do you got for possible notables to watch here this particular weekend? I know I've got a couple I've been looking at here.
Yeah, also quick on the route weekend, Caleb Tarter. We saw he was quick last year at the SCUSA Pro Tour weekend. Nearly picked up a victory until he and Isaac Malkut got together. So he could be one to watch along with Brady Shad, another driver who was quick throughout the Route 66 weekend.
Couple I would throw out that we've seen kind of run up front recently. Ashton Woon, the Arizona driver. Maybe look at Alessandro Truchot for Parolin USA. And I do remember watching the battles when we were there for 2 weeks straight last year at Newcastle with the SCUSA Pro Tour. You had mentioned Caleb Tarter, and I think he's one as well. I talked a lot about Caleb battling away for Team Nitro, so I think you're right, banging on that he was quick at the route race. So nothing. All these guys, David, especially the ones that are in their second year, right? They're comfortable now and they're ready to go win races.
Exactly. That's, the more comfortable they get, the better. And Tartar has a lot of experience with Newcastle being his home track. So he certainly shines well there. And again, we could see one or two or three or more step up and be among those in contention on the weekend.
Well, let's cap this thing off, David. ekartingnews.com/live for all the play-by-play. You and Tim Coyan going to be sitting side by side?
We will be up in the Champions Lounge, baby. Plenty of room, lots of space to social distance from each other, and enjoy the great view that it does give us for the Newcastle facility. We'll have Allie Long alongside of us, keeping everything straight on the scoring when she doesn't mess up. And yeah, so us three, we're like the Three Stooges up there. We have a lot of fun, and
good to hear.
It's good we have our own little building because nobody wants to hear what we talk about.
That's it. Our broadcast partners for the EKN Trackside live coverage this weekend: Trinity Karting Group, Franklin Motorsports, and DID Chain. Great to have them on board for the United States Pro Kart Series Heartland Grand Prix. If you're following us on social media, remember David's always on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. A lot of the pit stuff, photography kind of thing on Instagram, of course, the best platform for that, I think. David always puts the top 10s up from all the sessions as well on Facebook and Twitter. So if you do want to follow us on social media and all the platforms, our hashtags will be hashtag EKN at USPKS, hashtag HeartlandGP, and hashtag NCMP. David, getting ready to go back to the racetrack. You had your holiday, you cut the grass, hopefully the allergies will be gone, back into the rental car and rolling down to Newcastle. You know the route to get there. That's for sure.
I could, if I had a driverless car, I could probably take one in Newcastle. That's the easy part. But looking forward to getting back to Newcastle. Excited. I was going to swing by on my trip home from vacation to visit Mike Adams, but I'll just have to wait till this weekend to see him and the great group that is down there at Newcastle Motorsports Park, and just excited to see. Again, growing numbers in the USPKS program as we move forward in the 2021 season.
Obviously, a massive start to the season with 293 entries at Ocala. A little less than that for Newcastle Motorsports Park. A lot of racing going on, as we know, throughout the United States. 253 pre-entries. David's thinking maybe 20 walk-ups. Could get up to 273, 275 maybe. All in all, as David said, a lot of momentum for the USPKS. Great numbers. And it's not just good for the series, great for the sport as well, great for the industry. The stronger our industry is, the stronger our sport is on the whole. Going to be a fantastic weekend at Newcastle. Dave will be there with all the coverage. Good luck to all those racers getting ready to go into competition at Newcastle. But we'll cap off this edition of the OutLap on behalf of David Cole. My name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.